So when looking at these questions, the first one, when it talks about what role I feel as a future administrator I will have as far as using tools, one of the things that I actually want to start looking into in the course of my upcoming assistant principalship is to using Google Calendar. And I know that might sound um, kind of small, but I am still very old school and use a paper pencil planner. And I feel like using Google Calendar will help not only myself to be much more time um, friendly, but also cognizant of where I am supposed to be at what time. But this will also help with the head principal and myself as far as scheduling, because we're going between two different buildings, two different elementary schools. And so with our shared time, I feel like if we know where each other is supposed to be at the same time, it will help just scheduling. It'll help teachers to know when we're available, when we can be when we can schedule meetings, when we can schedule times to work with teachers. So I think that that's something that I would like to start using. And I think that it would also be helpful to start having our teachers use that as well, just because that's going to help us to save on a lot of downtime that we might be missing each other coming in and out of different classrooms. And if we know where everyone is supposed to be or what their schedule is, that will help us just to be able to click on their calendars if we share them and say, yep, this person's going to be, at PE at that time, so I can't come to a walkthrough, or I won't be able to have that conversation during that PLC. So I think that's something that I want to make sure that I'm a role model for next year. One of my views of a teacher's role of technology and measuring progress, holding staff accountable, I think it's just trying to identify where teachers are currently in their own knowledge of technology, trying to push them, but also not push them too far, because technology can be a very scary thing for a lot of teachers and for a lot of administrators for that fact. But I think that we have to be able to identify where they are, where they begin, get a baseline, and then be able to do some goal setting and be able to walk through that process of what resources they need and how we can assist, but also what resources we might be able to put in their path so that they're able to make some gains over the course of the year. My thoughts on the expansion of one-to-one. I think I used to think it was a fad. I thought that, technology, everyone just gets very, very excited about the use of technology, and there's all this money we're pouring into it. And I think that it can be a fad in several districts. But I think that if it's used in the correct manner, and if we're doing it for the correct purpose and for the correct reason, it really is necessary for our students growing up in this 21st century. They have to have a lot of these skills, and they have to have them early on. But again, it's using these tools, one-to-one. It's using it for a purpose and utilizing it in the correct manner, instead of just, so we can say we're a one-to-one district. So we can say every kiddo has an iPad in these classes. It really has to be to enhance the learning environment, not just to say, yes, we have this. My plans for supporting teachers and providing PD really has to do a lot in the future with getting to know our district tech person. I think that that's my first kind of go-to to figure out where we are as far as technology, to understand where our teachers are. So that's, again, kind of goes back to that second question of getting a baseline so I can understand where teachers are, and then trying to differentiate that learning so that it can be, we've got this group of teachers who really need to focus in on how to utilize this app, or we've got this set of teachers who just want to figure out how to use online lesson planning, because that is something that even some teachers don't use. And so I think that it really needs to be differentiated. It needs to be purposeful so that our teachers feel like this is really helping them, and it's not just another PD that they have to sit through because this is what our district says we're going to do this year. It really needs to be teachers understanding how this is going to benefit them, how it's going to enhance the learning environment, and then be able to provide some pretty meaningful and measurable professional development opportunities for them.